Well, brothers and sisters, today is my 21st video, and the topic for this video is slow to anger and quick to forgive. It is the second video underneath the topic long-suffering. So in this case, it is long-suffering as related to slow to anger and quick to forgive. Human beings are human, and it is very easy most times and every time to be angry. My topic, which is in connection with my disability ministry and foundation, is now bringing people's attention as to how long-suffering and its beautiful relation to slow to anger and quick to forgive. How often do we forgive our brothers? How often do we, or are we, quick to forgive? That is today's video. Last week I treated the first topic, which is the part one of the long-suffering. And before I treated, I made mention of what actually was fruit of the Spirit in Galatians 5:22, which were love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, fruitfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And the works of the flesh, or works of the flesh, in Galatians 5:19-21, were hatred, contentions, jealousies, outbursts of wrath, selfish ambitions, dissensions, heresies, envies, and murder. I brought your attention to the definition of the word long-suffering, which originates from the Greek word Makrothumia, where Makrothumia, in this case, out of this we got the words long-tempered and short-tempered. Somebody can be long-tempered. A long-tempered person is a person who does not easily become angry. But short-temperedness is a person who easily becomes angry. So without the word Makrothumia, we human beings tend to be temperamental, meaning having irritable temperament and bad temper. We lose temper easily and lose control and even sometimes blow up. We will therefore today focus on Makrothumia, since it is the word used in Galatians, which talks about fruit of the Spirit. Let's bring down the definition of long-suffering. Long-suffering is patience and forbearance. It is patience and endurance, steadfastness under provocation. It is forbearance under ill will and no thought of retaliation. It is patience, endurance, steadfastness, and forbearance. Forbearance under suffering and endurance in the face of adversity. It is the ability to endure persecution and ill treatment. Brothers and sisters, long-suffering is what every human being needs. Because Everybody has an objective, and life doesn't come so easy. For you to achieve your objective, you need a longer period of waiting and patience, hence long-suffering. Last week, I treated with you the topic long-suffering as related to love and anger and hate, long-suffering and love with anger and hate or hatred. But today, I will treat with you the slow to anger and quick to forgive. Meaning, today's topic is slow to anger and quick to forgive. In Psalms 145 verse 8, the Lord expects us or everybody to be gracious and full of compassion. Meaning that we should be slow to anger and great in mercy. Let us consider the following items which talks about long-temperedness. It is said, he who is slow to wrath or he who is slow to anger has great understanding. But he who is impulsive in the sense is emotional, exalts folly. He is like a foolish person. It is found in Proverbs 14:29. All what it means is that you shouldn't easily become angry. All of us are humans, and anger is a greater part of our DNA. It is said also, a wrathful man, a person who becomes angry, stirs up strife. He brings strife, problems. But he who is slow to anger allays contention. That means he tries to prevent hatred. It is also said, the discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory is to overlook transgression, which is found in Proverbs 19:11. The discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory is to overlook a transgression. We see that Apostle Paul, as well as Apostle James, and particularly Apostle James, wrote, so that my brothers, let every man be swift to hear, and slow to speak, and slow to wrath. It is found in James 1:19. Then if all, and when appropriate, anger is expressed, it will likely be under control. Or what Apostle James means is that every man must be swift to hear, just hear first, and be slow to speak, and be slow to anger. And when all these things are done, anger will be under control. You have probably heard of the advice of, at least, if you hear anything that brings about anger, just stop and count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And after that, you take some deep breath rather than lashing out with words, hey, what happened? When that is done, that will escalate conflict rather than make peace. Just hesitate, count 10, and then proceed on. Truly, brothers and sisters, the first step of long-suffering is to exercise restraint and do nothing at all. We must think first before we proceed. Brothers, if our feelings are hurt and you feel the need to immediately say something, please say it softly and don't say anything that hurts back. A quick reply, hey, that hurts. Because a soft answer turns away anger, but a harsh word stirs up anger. It's found in Proverbs 15:1. Brothers and sisters, take as much time as you need to pray and plan regarding the wise and constructive way to approach another person. Your goal is to act loving rather than reacting hatefully. When a person is too concerned about winning an argument, he can end up losing a friend. Argument is the order of the day. Let us try to refrain or come away from it. Don't be too concerned about who is right, demanding your rights. Let's learn to be agreeable even when you disagree. In doing all these things, we need to pray to God for an understanding. Brothers and sisters, this is my 21st video, the second part or the part 2 of long-suffering. Thank you very much, and God richly bless you. Next week, I will end up the long-suffering topic on long-suffering and solution to impatience and short tempers. God richly bless you. Thank you very much.